Hello people! Today we're doing a set I'm calling In the Groove, and you'll see why as we go along. I am using long coffins for these, and we're starting off right off the bat with the top coat. I know it's weird, but it was necessary. I'm using a no wipe top coat for this, and I will be curing this only for 30 seconds instead of the usual minute that I do. And in they go. Now we're using this chrome powder. I had not used this one before. Now I have seen some nails like this done. I didn't see the process. I just saw the finished ones, and I was able to pretty much, I think, figure out how to do it. In hindsight, there's some things I would have done differently, but we'll get to that later. I'm not touching any of these with my bare fingers this time, because it was brought to my attention that my top coat splitting could be due to my putting the chrome on with my fingers, and then there's oils from my fingers on there. So these I did not touch at all with my bare hands. I didn't have any splitting issues, but by the same token, this is not normal chrome either. This is whatever this chrome is. It's not the normal chrome powder that, like, you're going to get a mirror shine type of chrome that's got a solid color to it. So I don't know if that makes a difference, but the next time I do some of that, I'm also going to make sure not to touch it and see how it goes. But we're just going to put this on all of them. I'm just dabbing some of it on first and then rubbing it in. And just giving it a good rub down. And this is the reason we use the no wipe top coat versus the tempered top coat that I normally like to use. I was hoping this was going to have a little more color to it. And to be fair, it does have color if the light hits it just the right way. But when it doesn't, it just kind of looks yellowy and dull. Like, see, you can see the purple when I'm turning it and the light's hitting it the right way. Also, it doesn't help that it's on top of a white paper towel. Okay, now we're going to do step 1 and step 2 all over again, because I wanted to try to get more color. So now we're going to go in with another layer of the no wipe top coat. Now, while you're watching me do this, we're also going to do step 2 right after I cure this for 30 seconds, which is another layer of the chrome powder. But while you're watching that, in hindsight, I think what I would have done different is used one thin coat of blue jelly as a first layer, then moved on to step, the wave liner gel step, and then I would have just put this chrome powder over the wave liner part after that was cured. I think that would have given me more color, but I didn't want too much color. I didn't want it to be, real dark either. I just wanted a hint. So what you could do too is if you do that with a jelly color under it, might even like thin that jelly down a little so it's even lighter and more sheer than what it is by mixing some more either top or base coat with it to thin it out more. I didn't try it that way because frankly I didn't think of it until I was pretty much done, but there's where we are so far. There's our second layer of chrome. It didn't give me much more color. It did give it a little bit, but we're moving on to the next part, which is the wave liner gel. Now, if you have this wave liner gel, this is a super easy set to do. I mean, anybody could do it as long as you have the right product. Okay, we're just going to put kind of a thickish layer of this all over the whole nail. Now I did not top coat over that second layer of the chrome powder, so this is like giving it its protection right now. So if you have to wipe it off, you're going to wipe that second layer off. You try to get this to be as smooth as possible. I know it's got grooves in it already, but it really, you want to try to get it smooth. Then we're going to use an ombre brush, and we're just going to draw some patterns in here with grooved lines. So you can make whatever design you want. I kind of went with some swirly lines. I did some straight parts on some of them and some curvy swirly lines on some. Okay, and there we are. I'm going to set that aside. See, you can see the color when the light is the right way. But we're going to do this on all of them now. Same thing. And fair warning, this wave liner gel is super sticky. I managed to not get it all over myself, but I would be careful with it. And like I said, you want to put it on kind of thickish. Now as I got farther along on these, I didn't get it on as thick as I did on the first couple, so they don't all have the nice grooves as thick as I would have liked. Okay, this one I did a roundy part at the top and straight at the bottom. And as I said, you can do whatever kind of design you want, whatever kind of a pattern you want to put in there. And also you're going to want to clean off your ombre brush about maybe every other nail. Mine was starting to get too much buildup on it, so I wasn't getting good grooves in there. So I would say just keep a damp paper towel that's damp with alcohol or acetone near there, and then you can just kind of wipe it off as you're going. I do like how that chrome powder gives it a really pretty blue sheen, bluish or kind of purplish, depending on the angle that you're looking at it. But it's easy peasy. I was a little bit afraid that if it sat there for a while I was doing the rest, that the gel was going to kind of smush together and I would lose my grooves, but it didn't do that. It stayed there nicely because I cured the whole rack. Actually, I started off cured the thumb and the first other one, the first finger, as I finished them, because I was afraid, like I said, they were going to like come together and it would lose my grooves, but it didn't do it. So by the time I got down to the last three nails, I just did all of them and cured them all together. Now see, this one doesn't have quite as much of the wave liner gel on there, so it's not giving me as good of a groove as I would have liked. And if you don't like your pattern you've got on there, as long as you haven't cured it yet, you can just brush it back down smooth and start again. You don't need to put any more product or anything on there. It occurs to me as I'm sitting here watching this, I could have done this over a thin layer of cat eye. That might have been cool looking too. Okay, and I decided in an effort to try to get a little more color that after I cured all those, I went over them again with another layer of the chrome powder, and it did beef the color up somewhat. I've sped this up because you don't need to, you didn't need to watch me slowly getting it all on there. I may attempt this kind of a deal again over some cat eye. I think that would look kind of neat. The ones that I saw, the finished ones, just had this chrome powder. They didn't have any other color with it. So I'm assuming when she shot her pictures, she had the light just the right way so it would look like it was full colored. But I could be wrong. She could have put something under there for a base color. I didn't see the process. I only saw the finished nails, so I kind of had to guess at how to do them. My neck, oh, there we go. See, they do have color when you get them right, in the right way. Okay, now we're ready to go in with the final top coat. Now I'm going over with a very, very thin coat because I did not want the top coat filling all my grooves in, then I lose my texture. So I'm going to get it on here on all of them with a very thin coat, and I'm also brushing in the direction of the groove. So if you go against the groove, like you say you go crossways, it's going to get caught up in all those ridges and it's going to pull up in there more heavily. Also, when I got done getting these all coated pretty well, then I cleaned my brush off so it was dry basically, and then I went over them all again and brushed along the groove lines just to get out any excess that might have been pooling up in there. And once I get this on, we're going to cure this, and then we'll be almost done. This did give me an excuse to use that chrome powder that I had never used and didn't know what I was going to do with. So that was kind of cool. They do have a pretty color if you're seeing them in the right angle. Okay, this is where I'm now going over these again with the dryer brush, trying to clean any excess out of there. And they will, once I'm happy with it, it will go in for curing. And now, see around the top edges, right around the edges, there was a little bit of that wave liner gel sticking out on some parts where it was made sharp little pokey bits. So I went around each one on all the edges and cleaned those all up so there's no jaggedy bits sticking out. And just around the edges, I didn't do anything on the top. There's nothing on the top of it that's jaggedy and rough. It's all smooth. There might be grooves, but they're smooth. It's a smooth groove. See, you can see that bit sticking out on the side right there. Frankly, I could have eliminated this step if I had just patted the side edges and, all the edges down before I cured them with the wave liner on there, but it didn't occur to me at the time. Next time I do something like this, I will definitely do that first. Okay, now we're ready for the final step, which is, you guessed it, the crystals. I couldn't leave them just plain like that because it's me. I had to zhuzh it up with a little bit more sparkle. So I'm using these teeny tiny AB crystals. Now initially I had pulled out a size that's like maybe 2 sizes bigger than that one, and I was going to use both of those. And as I got these on, I'm just taking the glue and I'm just laying it along one of the grooves, like down inside of one of the grooves. Hence the reason I got the name for this set, In the Groove. We're going to fill up one groove with glue. And then as I started to lay those little teeny tiny crystals in there, I was realizing that they were fitting down in the groove just perfectly. So I did not use those bigger ones that are right above my right hand there that you can see. I just put those away. So just ignore those. We did not use them. One thing about these teeny tiny crystals, man, they are hard to get. Like getting them upright so I could pick them up and get them in there. That was probably what took me the longest to this whole thing. But other than the few things that I would change or whatnot, this is, like I said, super easy to do. I mean, I knocked these out pretty quick. The crystal placement is what took me the longest out of this whole set. And that didn't even take all that long. I mean, in comparison to some of the crystals that I do. Now after I show you this one, once we get done with the thumbnail, I kind of lost track of where my groove was when I was getting ready to put those on. But once I get these on, I will show you the rest of them, but I have sped the rest of it up after the thumb. So it will be on there. And as far as going ahead to the next one after these, I will be doing my own set, and we will be on to 4th of July stuff by then. So that's what it will be next time. I will be leaving, well, by the time you guys see this video, I will be pretty much on my way back home, but I'll be going out to my parents for a week next week. Although, as I said, I'll be back by the time you guys are getting this video. So, it should be interesting. My mom will be having her birthday while I'm out there that week. If I'm remembering correctly, she's going to be 86 now. I don't think it's 87. It might be. Wait, how old am I? No, it'll be 86. I gotta stop and think a minute. Oddly enough, my mom and I are 21 years apart in age, and me and my daughter are 21 years apart in age. Didn't plan that, it just happened. Yeah, getting these little teeny tiny crystals to flip over and be right side up. Oh, another thing too. I should have probably put these in the lamp to cure each one as I went, because I just put them on the rack and let them sit, and I was going to do them all at once. I think it's this one. No, it might be the next one. Well, one of them that I got on there, I had some crystals that I kind of wanted to move because they weren't exactly where I wanted them, but it had sat there on the rack under my desk lamp, which is an LED desk lamp, and so they cured while they were just sitting there. So I couldn't move the crystals, so one of them's got some wonky ones. Excuse me. So you might want to be leery of that. I think it's this here one that I'm just starting on. So it doesn't have nice, perfectly straight ones. Some of them got a little wonky. And I only put glue halfway down that one first and got the first half of these on because I kind of was losing track of which groove I had put the glue in as I was going, and I didn't want to have too much on there and have my glue start to dry before I got down to the bottom part, because I've had that happen too from the desk lamp. Now if it's sunny enough, I don't always turn the desk lamp on if I'm going to be working with that kind of stuff, but if I'm filming, I kind of need to, because otherwise I don't get quite enough light. Alright, now we got to go down with the rest of the glue. I did get a little much on some of this on the glue. You don't need a whole lot, especially with these little tiny crystals. They weigh literally nothing. Fun fact, I got these crystals for free because something I ordered at one point on Ally, they messed up my order. So they sent me a whole jar of these little teeny tiny AB crystals. And at the time, I was thinking, well, what am I going to use all those for? But, hey, I've used them here and there. They've come in handy. They have a really nice AB color to them, too, I like. Some of my other ABs, the color is not as vivid on them. That guy did not want to be upright. Now, I kind of sorted these out as I was going along, but I think they either moved because there was a lot of glue and they were kind of floating on it and they moved over or whatever, but there was a couple out of whack. But there was nothing I could do. Oh, I guess I could have pried them off and re-glued them on, but I'm lazy like that and I didn't feel like doing it. Well, surprisingly, I think I've run out of things to say. My husband would laugh at that. Because according to him, I always have something to say. Alright, these I'm going to scooch up just a little because they were kind of getting out of control. These last couple nails, the grooves are not as deep as they were on the first few, so I was having a little bit of an issue getting my glue line to be where I needed it to be and just keep track of where it was. I believe this is the last one now. And once I get these crystals on, we'll be all finished. On top of which, it's hotter than heck in here. It was well into the 90s when I was working on these, and I think that my glue was softer than it normally is, so it was moving around a bit. It was a little melty is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Alright, and we're ready to cure those. And that is the finished set right there. If you like them, please give me a like. I'd appreciate it, and it helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more, upload every Saturday a new tutorial. I shot this picture on a purple background just so I could get more color into the shot, because as you saw, they were pretty plain looking as they were. But that's all I got for you this time, guys. Next time, 4th of July. That's it. Bye-bye. See you next time.